we're diving into our 2025 predictions first, right?
Yeah. To look back, see how we did. Look, I think we did okay. We got a lot of it right, and some of it right, but just a little different, right? Like we were right, but it was a little different than what we thought. So this is exciting, man. I like, because, we're pretty good at this, you guys. And so I'm excited to look back how we did and then give you what we think is going to happen this year, because this year's going to be like a roller coaster for sure. How you want to do this? You want to start at number 5, and just do it like we do our top 5s? Let's start at number 5 and build up to what we thought was the biggest thing going to happen in last year.
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And I mean, both of our number 5s were basically the same thing,
Sure.
which was Warner Brothers Sell/Begins, and yours was David Zaslav will spin off Warner Brothers Pictures as a standalone company, which he wanted to do, and it will buy Lionsgate. So we got 50% of that right. But yeah, man, I mean, we knew this was going to happen. Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, freaking Zaslav was a basket case from first to the jump. But we do know that it's going to be weird to see what's going to happen with this thing, and it's very sad to see, honestly.
It absolutely is. And look, I'm going to be honest, this one, I don't have it on my list for this coming year. It may still be what happens. I mean, it might not clear regulations, and he might have to just spin it up. Remember, they had that in place. That's what they were intending to do. Warner Brothers Pictures and then Discovery, whatever the hell they were going to call that other company. That's what they were planning to do before, the bid came along. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's been interesting, man, to see how they're navigating this entire process because, yeah, it's kind of been a shit show the entire time. And like we've talked about many, many times on the show, their stock prices throughout the years have been rough since he's come on board and captained the ship. So it's been very weird, man, very weird. And then number 4 for me for my predictions last year was Lionsgate sells. And it was kind of the second half of your number 5 prediction. And, honestly, Lionsgate had a pretty decent year last year. I mean, they had very top tier, I would say, middle of the road films. I mean, we're talking about like Greenland 2, the Michael movie is coming out next year. They have Hunger Games coming out next year. The Housemaid with Sydney Sweeney actually did pretty decent over this Christmas break. Now You See Me, Now You Don't actually did pretty decent. So Lionsgate is still trying to stick around to be their own independent entity, and hands off for a while, okay? Hands off. They're still rocking and rolling.
Yeah, we sort of got this right. They did sell off Stars and separate into their own company. So kinda, we both kind of thought they would be picked up by somebody, but they are their own separate company and did sell off Stars. So yay to us. We got that one pretty much right.
I feel like all of ours are just like, they're partially right.
They're partially
we got fractions of like our predictions. So, and I mean, hey, it just shows you that we're still got our head to the ground, seeing everything that's happening.
That's right.
But at the same time, the entertainment industry is continuing to change for better or for worse, as some would like to see it.
Yeah, I agreed. Now, my number 4, I think I got this one completely right. More A-list creators will become exclusive to certain studios. We saw that. We saw Universal sign Nolan. We saw Paramount sign damn near everybody under the... They were just like, boom, we got these movies. Boom, we got this. Boom. So I think that we saw a ton of that this past year in 2025, where studios were just, for whatever reason, pretty much any creator that was working with Warner Brothers bailed and signed exclusively with other studios because of Zaslav. Honestly, they just didn't like what he was doing. We saw some bail from Netflix saying, we don't like the theatrical thing you got going on there. But then Netflix did sign a couple also. So, but overall, I think I got this one pretty right. We saw, especially after the mergers, a bunch of creators signing exclusively to long-term contracts with these studios. So, boom.
Exactly. Trying to continue moving forward and have some more stability in this thing we call Hollywood, because it can be a little daunting sometimes, and people don't know where they're ever going to land. So yeah, especially for those big name creators like the Duffer Brothers right now after Stranger Things, even though they still have projects going on at Netflix like the Stranger Things animated show, and they have the documentary coming out and a couple of other shows at Netflix, they are signing a deal with Paramount to obviously release films in theaters. That's the
That's
main
right.
reason why they signed that deal. Number three for me was the movie theater experience. So what I was really referring to was more like lobby experiences, but I got this right in the sense of we've seen over this past year how the evolution of the theatrical experience has changed when it comes to concert films. Concert films really made a huge resurgence, especially with like obviously Taylor Swift. She has been like the biggest draw when it comes to these event style theatrical releases.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see more of that in this upcoming year. And I kind of guess that kind of gives a little bit of away one of my next
Yes.
predictions. But sorry. But yeah, I would say like a fraction. Again, a fraction.
Well, I think it's combined with mine. My number three was theatrical windows will continue to decrease. And they did. They dropped down a little bit more. You guys, I'm sure you saw all of last year. Basically had 2 weekends to see a movie, and then it was on a streamer at the same time it was in the theater. And you only really got the 2 weekends if it was a big blockbuster tentpole film. If it was a regular film, you basically, if you blinked, you missed it. It was on a streamer, which, that's just crazy to me. But I like what you said. I think you kind of got yours right too with the theater experience. I would say it this way. We saw more of those event-type blockbuster movies where people would dress up in costumes and go, like Barbie and Oppenheimer. They continued that trend in 2025 where kids would dress up, Minecraft, they would sing along to the songs and the stuff. So they did kind of make it an event experience to go to the theater. So I think you got that more than a percentage right. I think you pretty much got it exactly right. You did kind of see that. So, but good for us. Both number threes. Good.
Yeah, but our number twos are not where it's at. Nah.
No.
My number two was the biggest box office in the last decade because before going into 2025, everybody was like, survive till 25, and it's going to be huge. But no, it really wasn't. July was huge. The summer box office was great. It was awesome to see that. But all around, we only had a 1% uptick from 2024 in 2025. But 2026 is looking promising. There's a lot of fun films coming out in 2026. Super excited to do our box office draft next week. And man, oh man, doing the research on that one, it was very difficult to try to narrow down and figure out which ones I still haven't.
I still haven't.
Yeah,
I'm in my
good
draft
luck.
room still trying to erase my whiteboard and I don't even
Good
know
luck.
yet, man.
I have alternates for each pick. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, biggest box office of the last decade, maybe in 2026. Definitely not in 2025.
No. Okay, my number two, to be fair, I said Paramount Plus would be shut down. The only reason that didn't happen is because Ellison likes Paramount Plus. He likes television. He didn't want to get rid of CBS. He didn't want to get rid of Paramount Plus. He sees a future for that. And of course, as we know, David and Skydance bought Paramount. So got that one wrong because David said, "No, I kind of like Paramount Plus. We're gonna keep it." I think though if that hadn't happened, there just wasn't money to sustain Paramount Plus. But Ellison clearly, in case you didn't know, the Ellisons have a little bit of money, so they were able to, they're okay with it still trying to find its ground as far as profitability goes. But wrong is wrong. I got it wrong.
Exactly. And we are crazy enough to admit that. Okay? We're crazy enough to admit we're wrong. But man, oh man, my number one pick, it was the biggest thing coming out at the end of 2024 going into 2025. And it's still a very big topic of conversation in 2025 with the release of the documentary series that we watched over holiday break. Such a timely thing. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about more big names coming out of the Diddy trial. We definitely saw a lot of names come out at the Diddy trial. We definitely saw some more lawsuits and accusations come out against notable people. Some lawsuits that actually got dropped in some cases because of some stuff that was settled out of court. So I definitely got that one right. Definitely some shady stuff still going on in the entertainment industry. There is a lot of things comparing Diddy to like a lower scheme Epstein, in my opinion. It's kind of scary, and it's scary that we give these people that much power. So yeah, we'll continue moving forward and tracking that because even TMZ still tracks Diddy's daily habits
Yeah.
while he's in
Yeah.
jail, which is crazy. But yeah, that one's absolutely wild, especially after watching the documentary series. Like, have lost so much respect and so much like admiration for him because he used to be somebody that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people used to idolize because he was on top of the world. He was a billionaire. He was in Forbes list, and after seeing all of this stuff come out and then being convicted, like it's awful to see.
Yeah, and he's pulling a little political trick right now, I think, because you can't tell. Somewhere, somehow, somebody involved with Diddy has paid this former best friend of Will Smith. I think it's like, hey, forget me. Look over here. Will Smith's an
Oh, about
awful
fat
human being.
accusations,
He's
yeah.
getting railed by everybody, including his wife. And I was like, did you see that one? This guy
Yeah.
is now claiming she puts the strap on and goes to town on Will and other people. And I'm like, what? But this just kind of came out of nowhere, like all this stuff. And I'm like, is this a ploy to be like diversion? Like, don't look here, look over
Yeah.
here. Because, that's what you do, right? If you want people to forget about you and stop talking about you, you throw it somewhere else. And
Well, especially when Will's been trying so hard these last couple of years to get his career back to where it was, and like, oh my
Exactly.
gosh,
It's
man,
like-
that's a crazy situation.
apparently this guy's got video, though, and wants to, like, in the lawsuit is willing to show the court. And I'm like,
Oh wow.
yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's for another day, guys. My number one for last year, I didn't get right or wrong. I said that Dana Walden would get announced as Bob Iger's successor. That was, in my opinion, and a lot of people, going to happen, but it was delayed, you guys. Remember, they were about to make an announcement last year, and then they had the shareholder Peltz war. And they had to like delay it. One of the arguments that Peltz was trying to make against Iger was that he didn't have a proper succession plan in place, and that's why he wanted to boot him. And so basically this decision got pushed to this year because of the shareholder battle with Peltz. As we know, Iger won that battle. Peltz is nowhere to be found or heard from anymore, and that little tiny bit didn't work out. But and Dana Walden is still there, and that's all I'm going to say on that because I may or may not have a prediction on that for this year. So I'm going to take that one as neither a win or a loss. We don't know because it was rumored that it was going to be her and that it was going to be announced, and then thanks to Peltz, nothing was announced. So I don't know. What have I gotten that one right? What have I gotten that one wrong? We'll never know.
I know it is such an interesting thing too because that happened at the very beginning, first and second quarter of last year. So it's like, why would that delay them? But at the same time, they had a lot of stuff going on. They had like they sued OpenAI, won that battle, but then made a deal with AI.
Yeah.
And like it was such a weird thing. So yeah, I think they're still trying to figure everything out. And I mean, they had a decent amount of box office bombs that really don't get talked about because they had some decent amount of box office highs.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a very interesting thing. But yeah, that is our predictions for 2025. I would say we're batting about at least 600.
Oh,
I mean,
without doubt.
we're way more than half. So very proud of that. Very excited to see that we still are rocking and rolling as far as that.